Well, good afternoon. It was a brief meeting, but that doesn't mean it wasn't productive. We are working through some of the issues that we all agreed were something that we had to talk about. We have people working on those issues, and that's a good sign. One of the things that the governor brought up was the most recent school shooting with a shotgun, and that we need to do something about emergency funding for safe schools, and it is something that we are open to. We're trying to figure out whether it makes sense to do it today or just to do it 2 days from now. But either way, that always has been one of our highest priorities, safe schools, and making sure that the schools have resources to make their structures safer, providing money for mental health, which we thought was important for counseling and making sure that people never get to that place. But this just underlines, again, why we need to do that. But emergency funding for safe schools is our highest priority as well.
I would add, obviously, all of us disheartened to hear about the tragedy in another school, and the Minnesota House Republicans in particular have made school safety a huge priority for us this year. Our number of dollars dedicated to school safety is literally twice the amount that the governor proposed, because we want to make sure that we give schools all the resources that they need to make sure that kids are safe in those schools. So we're going to have those conversations over the next couple of days. We hope to send a bill to the governor's desk that can earn his signature and get those dollars out to our school districts. And with that, I think we'll take a couple questions. That's a
standalone bill on school safety?
You know, we haven't determined yet how that will happen. I think we're all open to that, so we're engaged. The governor has asked for us to send him a bill that way. If nothing else happens this session, I want to make sure that the school safety legislation gets signed into law. Now, don't read into what I just said to think that I believe nothing else is going to, but that's my way of saying this is our number one priority, and it has been for some time. In the meetings for a week now, I've been saying I want to make sure that we get school safety language signed, and it is our top priority.
Is the governor asking for anything more than the school safety measures? I'm talking about, you know, some sort of background checks or something in that area.
No, it was send us a school safety bill, and like I said, we've been working on that. We will send it. If we can, we'll try to get it done today, but keep in mind there's only 2 days left, and so we'll have to figure that out. He did talk about how do we get through all of the other things that we need to get through, but there are people working on it, both House and Senate and the governor's staff, and so I feel comfortable that we're on a good path there. We're going to meet again at 6 o'clock tonight. Hopefully we'll have a lot more news by then.
117 objections by the governor. How do you get through that?
116 objections by the governor, but that's what he just told us. Yeah, maybe he lost one. But
that's less than usual, so we're doing good. It's great progress.
You know, the people that we have working on it, in an hour, they went through about 24 of them. So I think we're on a pace where we can actually do it. You know, we know that we're running out of time, and we're going to get there.
And you solved those 24, you mean?
I think they either solved them or were very close, or just had language that they had to modify. But talking to our side, they felt like they had a good working relationship with the people that the governor assigned to it, and that they were going to get through those. And so I'm comfortable that we will work through those problems.
Mr. Leader, I assume one of them that's not signed is the governor's insistence on not eliminating funding from Minute.
I don't want to make any comment about the issues at this point, but we're looking at every single issue that there's conflict.
Where do things stand on the school emergency funding issue? Are you still talking about that? Or?
You know, we didn't talk about it in this meeting, but we are absolutely talking about it behind the scenes with the governor's administration, and also our chairs are doing some looking into different options. So we're analyzing the governor's plan. We're also looking into see if there are other options that might work better. But we want to make sure all of us are dedicated to making sure that our kids have the resources necessary to be successful in school. That's our top priority, and I'll remind folks that schools get more money under Republican legislatures than they do under Democrats. That's a fact. We are absolutely dedicated to making sure that our schools are well funded. But we want to make sure that those resources are used properly. In the governor's proposal, it's $130-some million, but it gives money to every school, not just the schools that have the emergency and need that emergency funding. So that's one of the concerns that our members have.
Do you have the option of singling out certain school districts, or don't you have to give it to?
We're the legislature. We have lots of options.
Senator, we're running out of time. Are there issues issues that are going to have to fall off, or can you still get everything you had talked about in this session?
So, you know, we have to finish by midnight Sunday, and so there's a lot of things that we would like to get done, but we know in the end, if we don't have time, that things have to drop off, and that's just how it is. It's like making sausage. You just have to move it all together and figure it out at the end, but I think some things will drop off, but I'm not going to comment about what that is at this point.
So, what's different if you pass a standalone emergency school safety funding bill versus just kind of looping it into a bigger budget bill later in the weekend?
I missed the first part of what?
What will determine whether you do a standalone as soon as today versus?
So we both Kurt and I have to talk to our caucuses to make sure that we're all on board, but I will tell you that there is unanimous agreement that we need to do something for safe schools. It was our priority, and I hope that we can get it done today, but frankly, if it's done Sunday, that's 2 days from now, it still gets done.
I want to just add to that. Our priority is making sure that we give schools the money to keep the resources they need to keep kids safe in their schools. We've got robust proposals to do that. Whether they pass today or on Sunday won't get the money into the school district any sooner. We'll make sure that we do it the right way to get a signature by the governor and make sure that we get these resources into the hands of the school districts to keep our kids safe.
So will you be coming back at 6 and saying, here's how we propose to do it to the governor, the safe school stuff?
We're going to just continue conversations at 6. It's my understanding that Governor personally will not be here at 6 o'clock, but his members of his administration will be here to meet with us at 6 o'clock.
Mr. Speaker, are you getting any closer to the governor on the emergency school funding issue and hence the tax bill?
You know, we're working on options. Obviously, you know, the governor has been clear that he wants school funding in trade for a tax bill. I have been very vocal about saying that that's unfortunate, and I don't think we should be pitting low-income Minnesotans against school kids. I think that's a lose-lose scenario. I think we need to look for solutions that are win-win. How can we help everyone? And I think that's what members of our caucus are doing right now.
Are you coming up with some money, or does it look like you can come up with some amount of money be a target at a certain school?
We've got folks working on that. We want to make sure that our schools have the resources that they need to be successful and stand by.
Jordan, Gazelka, what's the status of the legacy bill in the Senate? I haven't seen it.
There is no legacy bill in the Senate. That's it.
Will there be one this session?
You'll have to contact Senator Kerry Root.
And what about the bonding bill, Mr. Leader?
We're still working on the bonding bill. You know, our hopes is that we have cooperation with the Democrats in the Senate. As you know, that they voted unanimously against the bonding bill, very similar to the House bill that was passed bipartisanly, and so we'll just have to figure that out.
I'll add too, you know, it makes it difficult. I maybe can say this, Paul, easier than Paul can. When a caucus votes unanimously against those projects, that sends a pretty strong statement that they don't support those projects. So we have to look at things that we can put in a bill that will earn their support to get it to the governor's desk for a signature. And we have 2 days left to do that. My hope is that Democrats engage so that we can get these necessary resources out for that infrastructure.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the leader of the Democrats.
Sorry, was there a follow-up?
The leader of the Democrats, Senator Bach, said it's not a matter that the projects in there aren't good. He says they're just not enough of them in the sense of the dollar.
You know, one thing that has always been concerning to me since in my time here, and I know that's short, it used to be that you voted for what was in a bill. If you supported it, you voted for it. If you supported it, you signed the bill. Now all of a sudden we're in an era with Democrats in St. Paul where we vote against bills because of things that aren't in them, and we veto them because of things that aren't in them. I'd ask you to refer to our Constitution to see if that's constitutional or not.
Anyway. Mr. Speaker, real quick, the River Center parking ramp, they've shut it down 2 days before the session ends. Is there any chance of that getting...
Are you suspicious there's a conspiracy?
Well, any chance that's going to get any money this session?
You know, the chairs of the bonding committees are looking at that. We understand that it is the #1 priority for the St. Paul, for the city of St. Paul. However, the lead on the bonding committee from the Democrats in the House has not been supporting that project. They've prioritized other projects. That's why our bill looked the way it did in the House. It came out without funding for the parking ramp. Ours did receive broad bipartisan support, so we have an official House position, bipartisan, that we aren't including that, but we'll see what the Senate can come up with.
Yeah, and then the Senate proposal that was did not pass had $5 million for demolition for the ramp. We believe that's the first step. No matter what happens, we have to take down that ramp, and so you know, whether it should be developed by a private developer after, that's the part I'm not sure. but we do have money in there, and hopefully in the end to do that, the demolition.
But do you plan on any additional money? Is it possible for any additional money to help fund the construction?
So we're going to work with the chairs to decide whether there should be more money there, but like I said, we did put $5 million. It's sort of like a placeholder. The rest we'll see. So with that, thank you.
Thank you.